Welcome to another mandala video. Today I am going to make this one, which is white on gold. We're also going to chat a little bit about where I've been and create the mandala as well. If you want to follow, the things that you will need are something to paint the mandala on, a stencil, a pencil, watercolor or chalk. You will need a compass. You will need a ruler, dotting tools, brushes, and obviously you will need paint. For the background we're going to use gold, so I used the glorious gold from Decoart. And then for the mandala itself I'm going to use white. You can use Decoart, but I actually use an acrylic white from Talents, which I diluted with some Liquitex acrylic medium. You can also use some water. I also used Decoart's white pearl, Nuvo drops in Ivory Seashell, and simply white. And that is everything that we need to create the mandala. The board is prepped. I don't know if it was a good idea to start for the first time again using gold because it's very reflective, but here we are. This is actually the second time that I made the grid. The first time I did it in white and I could not see what I was doing at all. So this time I used a graphite pencil and we're going to experiment together to see if I can remove the marks at the end of the mandala, because I don't know. If I cannot, I don't know, maybe I will basically paint over it with the gold that I use for the background, which is actually glorious gold from Decoart, but you can use any gold that you want. I used a 16-point grid thingy. These horizontal lines are roughly around ½ centimeter apart. The inner ring is about 1 centimeter from the dotty thingamajiggy there. It has been a while, which we're going to chat about today. At least that's the plan. First, I kind of need to try and do the center. I can do that with this one, the Simply White from Nuvo. You know, because why not? Let's see if we can do that. It's been so long since I did this. Honestly, I don't know how long it's been. I'll have to check. But it's been quite a while. So, yes. There is that. For the rest of the tools I have here, these are from the Happy Dotting Company. And I have a bunch of nail stylus tools, which you can get everywhere. I also need to tie my hair back. If I can find some, yes, here. Because otherwise I will have paint in my dreadlocks, which is not a good idea. Okay, so next I'm going to go to the Ivory Seashell. So let's grab a 1.5. And basically I am going to make a dot here on every marking that I have done, and that I think should work. But it's kind of also an experiment because yes, it has been a while. So basically what happened is I ran out of ideas. That's the thing that happened. The other thing is I have ADHD, among other things. Well, I've actually ADHD, which means that while I love the basically sameness of making the mandala, my ADHD brain is like, yeah, but we need the dopamine. We kind of want to have some, you know, differences. And I got a little bit stuck. So every once in a while, I just need to change up the creative thing that I do. So after doing the mandala thing, what did I do after the mandala thing? I don't remember actually. I did some things. I also did Sims, building in the Sims, because that's also a creative process. And I crochet a lot. I don't know if you can hear the seagull. I think I did good. Yeah, I think I did. Next, I am going to go to regular white. Are you touching again? No. Why? I'll fix it later. It will be fine. I hope. And otherwise, it's fine. It's still fine. I am going to go to the largest part of the white stylus and also the white. And I'm going to go in between these. That's the plan. And a little bit also in the center of the... I want to have a little bit of space between the dots. Can I see what I'm doing now? So the trick is always to kind of, you know, make them nice and plump without having them touch, because then they flow into each other. So yeah, basically I love being creative, and I've always loved being creative. I've also always been creative, but every once in a while I'm just, you know, done and I need to do something else. And that is what happened with mandala stuff. Now, the other thing is I never throw anything away. So I have all my mandala stuff still here. So yeah, oh no, I remember what I did. I remember what I did after this. So I've also done a little bit of macrame. I don't know, because I could. I wanted to make something like dreadlock jewelry, which I did. I made a few, which was fun to do. But yeah, also, I don't know, I got bored easily. So then I started teaching myself how to knit. And I knit some dread beanies. And then I got bored of that. I wanted to make a nice cardigan, but that took too long. So, yeah. It's a mess, isn't it? Well, that's fine. So I'm going to go to the... Is this a 3.5? The green one? That's a 3. This was a 2.5, right? Yeah, so let's go to the 3 with the white again. The regular white. And the plan is to kind of go on these guide marks here, which should line up right in between these two. Like that. It's okay if there's a little bit of space. Let's go every other first. So I also did not feel like filming anymore or editing. Just didn't feel like that. So I stopped. Lately, I'm kind of doing a few things. Yeah, I think I like this. Yes. I'm doing a few things. I crochet. I actually started crocheting again when I was in the middle of my autism assessment this year, because that was the only thing that I had brain power left for. I'm starting with the 1.5 side and the purlie, and I'm just going to make a dot on top of all the dots that I just made. Like that, and then I'm going to flip it to, I think it's the 1.2, and we're kind of going to walk the dots. What I usually do is a little bit, I tap that center dot a little to unload a little bit of paint. Wow, look at me go. Wow. And then I'm going to go the other way. And it's usually easier for me to keep it on the left side of the dot, because I'm a lefty. I can then just better see what I'm doing, if that makes sense. We're going to go to the white, and so this is one I think I got from AliExpress. It was a set of 3, and this is just a very, I don't know, smaller brush, and the bristles are, I don't know, the width of a finger. So I'm going to kind of load up the brush a little, and let's see if we can, if I can do it. So I'm kind of wanting to start the brush stroke here and then end there, I think. Let's see. No, that's the wrong side. That is the, no, I want that? Oh dear. Just the wrong way around. So I'm going to start there. That was kind of the plan. Like so. I don't want the brush strokes touching. At least that's not the plan of today. But this is something that it requires practice. So I'll probably go very, very slow with this. Are they perfect? No, but that's fine. So kind of what I want to do to combat, I don't know, some boredom is do some other things here as well. So now I'm doing a mandala, and as I said, it has been a while, but I had ideas. I thought I want to do a gold background with white, and I also want to do a white with gold. Maybe I will also do a gold with black and a black with gold. I don't know yet. But I also am giving myself the option to do something different. So what I also really love is that actually something that I just discovered is more along the lines of neurographic drawing. So I'll put a picture up of, I think I have the picture of 2 that I made, and I really enjoyed making that as well. So I kind of want to do that too. Maybe I can also draw some mandalas instead of just, you know, doing it like this. Because why not? It's just something, I don't know, different. And I just really want to give myself the option to also expand a little bit creative-wise. Hell, maybe I'll even throw on some crochet videos. I don't know, you know. But I kind of want to give myself the option of branching out a little bit and not just sticking to one medium. I have here a 4 and we're going to go to the white. Yes. And I'm going to create a ring. That should just work. Okay. Let's see if I can fit 2 here. Yes. Okay. Then I want to have swooshes in the center, and I think I'm going to go to the Ivory Seashell. And I want a very small, so I have this tool. It's actually for clay, but it has a very fine, it has a needle point. And that is the one that I am going to use to pull the swooshes. So I am going to, am I going to go do 3? Maybe. I'm going to do 1 first. We will see. So let's do 1 first. And then pull it in or up. Yeah, I think I can do 2 more. Or shall I just leave it like that? I don't know. I can also do it this way. Is that fun? I don't know. It's on, so we will just do it like this. It's fine. I'm actually curious. Let me know down below. Are you, I don't want to say one trick pony because that's not what I mean, but are you someone who just, you know, focuses on one creative thing and have been maybe your entire life? Or are you like me, kind of hopping around from creative things to creative things? If you tried a lot of different things, let me know down below. So basically for me, I have a repertoire of things that I go back to constantly, which for me the thing throughout my entire life was always drawing. And then I did variations on that. So I did this. I did basically a little bit more doodle drawing. So when I was young, I did a lot of, I don't know how you call that in English. I don't want to say copying, but maybe that's the best way to explain it. So I would just draw something that I saw, if that makes sense. So I had I don't know, a picture of something, and I then drew it as well, but then I don't know, made it smaller or larger or kind of like that. And we have a word for it in Dutch, but I don't know what the word is in English. So basically, it's, if I translate it literally, it was drawing after, but that's not really what it is, but that's fine. So basically my rotation now is, I don't really want to say doodle drawing, but a little bit more abstract maybe, so that I can really just, I don't know, let my mind go, and it becomes a little bit more meditative, like with mandalas. I then, do this mandalas. I do a lot of crochet. Right now I'm making vests and sweaters for everybody in the family. And then, yeah, recently when I found out that neurographic, it's kind of, yeah, I don't know, it fits for me, which is cool, coolioli. Can I do micro dots already? I think I can. Yeah, I think I can. And I want to do that with the pearly. And I'm also going to use the same stylus, which is, yeah, again, it's not even a stylus, it's just a needle. Oh, it doesn't deposit anything. Oh no! Then I need to have the smallest one that I have. Then it's a 0. I don't know, 6 or 8. So basically just kind of walking the dots as well. But I'm just starting between the bigger dots and then going to between the smaller ones. Yes, yes. So yeah, I just really need that creative outlet, but I need it in a way that it calms my mind. So that's the downside with filming stuff like this, is it can get kind of like a chore really quickly, that I kind of feel like I have to perform almost. And when that happens, I'm just like, no, don't want to do it anymore. I'm done. Some of you may know that I've had a makeup channel for a very long time. And all of a sudden, I was just done with the whole makeup thing. And I kind of tried to revive it a little bit, but it just didn't work. And then I still have some makeup here, but not a lot. And it just doesn't interest me anymore. Not the way that it used to. Which is, yeah, it sucks sometimes to be that way. I will also do micro dotting there, but I will kind of, I can do it now, by the way, as well, with the pearly paint and the same stylus tool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make half moons here, because I really like that design. So I'm measuring it out with a compass, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines from basically that one there. I put the compass, yes, and then I kind of measure this point here. So this is the row that I put the compass on. I'm going to end one row higher, and I'm kind of going to check that it's close to those lines here and close to that line there. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't really know how wide it is, because I kind of always measure that. So here, for instance, it kind of overlaps here. So I'm just going to push the compass a little bit towards the side on the same line so that it kind of fits better, you know, that it doesn't overlap. That is basically, I need to stop there. And that is how I measure those half moons out. Let's go to the 1, not the 1.2, the 1. That was the, I don't know. God damn it. This is so annoying that I don't know it anymore. The 1 is the smallest end of the pink one. I'm just going to place them just inside of that line. And you can also do this with Nuvo drops, but I'm just not proficient in that at all. So we're going to do it the, I don't want to say the difficult way, but the more time consuming way. Okay, so now that that is done, I am going to go with the Nuvo drops in Simply White. I'm going to make some swooshes again. You can also do this with a regular white. So I'm going to try and basically aim a little bit more for the center of the thingy here. One there, one there, one there. Then I'm grabbing my pulling needle tool again. Like that. The thing with those Nuvo drops, they do run. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do the bigger ones first. So let's do a dot there. That way they kind of have a little bit time to settle before I do the other ones. Oh, that one's a little bit crooked. Oh, I made a boo-boo here. Can you see that? Ew, no. Well, we'll fix it one way or another. Because I kind of have an idea. So I don't feel like doing it all over again. So what we can do is just another row of dots. So let's grab that small. I want a smaller tool this time. So I'm going to go to my very tiny one. First, I'm going to go to the other side, the bigger side, and I'm just going to kind of make some dots here as well. You know, sometimes it just is what it is. So the rest I think is okay. So with the smaller one, we're just going to kind of go in between the other dots and make a second row. And if you didn't mess it up like I did, you can just, I don't know, either not do the second row or do the second row too. I tried something. You can grab a regular 3. I have the dotting tool 3 and the white, and then, so let's do it like that then. And then one there and one there. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So basically the last dot is there. So the first one is going to be here. Yes. And then we have the basically the line where this ends. Then the one above that is where I'm going to place that one. And then 2 kind of off center. Everything is off center, but so am I. So there's that. So let's grab the Nuvo drops, the Ivory Seashell, and I'm going to, let me try something. So I made 2 dots just parallel to that center line. I am going to go to my, not a very, very small one, but a smaller one, and pull it around like that. I don't know if I like it though, but kind of like that. And then maybe a small one in the center, like that. And you can pull it like that, maybe. I don't know, is that fun? We're going to go to this line here. I could also do it a little bit lower, but let's do one first. I'm very bad at basically pushing it up. I'm actually better at pulling it down. I have a brush. This is a little bit of a longer brush, and we're going to go into the white, and I'm going to do brush strokes. I think I can fit 2. That's the plan. So let me try one. Okay, yes. And then I also want one next to it. Like that. So the first one basically kind of starts where this one ends, which is here. And then a little bit above, and the other one kind of starts a little bit more in towards, I don't know, here's the line. Can you see? There's the line, just at my nail. That's basically, yes. So let's try this again. And I'm just really taking my time, because as I said, it has been a while. So I do want my brush to have quite a bit of paint on it, but I basically load up the tip of the brush more than the rest. And then first I kind of press down so that it bends, and then I push it. I hope that makes sense. And just very much take your time. And this is when I love when my paint is a little bit more heavy, because it gives just a little bit of texture to the brush strokes, and that is what I prefer. And I try not to make them touch. For me it has been a few days, for you not so much. So here in the inner center I actually added some of the shimmery paint, because it gives a nice little domey effect. I also want to do that there. Let's go to a 2. At least that's the plan. I know that this is a 2.5. Is this the 2? Yeah, it looks like. I think I have a 2. I think. Could also be a 1.5. It does not really matter. And I'm going to do a dot kind of on the bottom of that previous dot. You don't have to. You can also do it in the center if you prefer, but I kind of like this look. I'm going to go to the Nuvo drop. You can skip this part if you want to, but it is just a little bit more a different color. And then on top of this ring, I can do the simply white, because if I feel like adding a little bit of shimmer, I can always do that on top when they kind of dry. And it's okay if these are a little bit bigger, that they kind of cover the entire dot underneath. I like that. We're going to do that with these as well. And remember, this is already dry, this part. So, and if you don't have Nuvo drops, you can basically create more texture by letting everything dry and then adding, you know, here again white on top of the white dots here. Then let that dry and then do that again and kind of build it up like that, so that you just layer basically paints on top of each other, because the more paint you layer on top of each other, the higher it will become. It was actually the way that I used to make my more raised dots before I had the Nuvo drops. So we ended basically the petals here. I do want to have a little bit of space, so I'm going to grab the next line and I'm going to grab a 10 millimeter and the pearl. I'm going to place a dot here. Oh, and I'm going to do that every other guideline. I'm going to go to the white and let's go to 1.5. I'm going to make a dot. I kind of need to see, oh, let's go to the opposite side so I can kind of see what I'm doing. Just a little bit of a bigger dot on top of the marking just above that dot. And then I am going to walk the dots. Okay, then with, I think this is the largest one of that basically set. First brush stroke I'm going to make with the pearl. And I'm kind of going to start a little bit more towards that center line. Okay, and then with the white we're going to make the next set of petals. They're going to start a little lower. And they can also end a tad lower. What I'm kind of going for, so I'm going to push this one a little bit more in, is that they're almost touching, which sometimes is a little bit tricky. You could also wait a little for the first petals to dry before you go in with your next set. Then the next one will be a little bit lower and maybe a little bit wider. Let's see. Yeah, so that it kind of covers up that whole portion. And I think we're going to do another ring here. So I have a 5.5 in the pearl. And I'm going to dots all around. So that is done. I'm going to micro dot with, with the white and the small tool. I think this is 0.8 if I'm not mistaken. Maybe we need a bigger one though. No, I think it's fine. I'm just going to make 2 dots between the dots all the way around. So that is done, and I was kind of fiddling around to see how I wanted to kind of finish the mandala off, and we're going to do that. And how we're going to do that, we're grabbing the Nuvo Drops Ivory Seashell or any color of your preference, and we're going to make a few swooshes. I'm going to start with the biggest one, which is going to go through the center here. So I'm going to make a bigger dot, and I'm going to make a few. And then with my very, very sharp pointy tool, I'm going to go up. Maybe I need to use a different one. Or is it this one? Yes. Ah, that's a little bit better. So I think I have it a 0.8. That. Then I'm going to make 2 dots beside each of the bigger ones. And I'm going to pull those up. Or down, depending on which way you work, or which way you look. Let's say in towards the center, maybe that's better. Okay, so now that we have done that, I'm going to make these 2, and they are, well, it's all the same. So I'm making quite a bigger dot basically there, in that little space that we have here, but a little bit more towards this side. It's kind of centered on the guide mark that I have here. I'm just going to pull it towards that guide mark. Yes. So again here, and then kind of on that guide mark again. And you can also leave it like this, one big dot, or you can walk the dot. You can do also these types of swooshes with a brush if you want to, or not do them at all. Okay, do I want to do another? Let's kind of do a little bit of a, can I do that in the center? Kind of like that. It's not completely dry yet, this very white center dot. I can kind of feel, but it's also a very, very big one, isn't it? So this is kind of it so far. I am going to let it dry. So let's zoom out, yes. I'm going to let this dry and see if we can remove the guide marks and how to do that. The other thing is that if you want to do any top dots or any top brush strokes, you have to let it dry first. I don't know. In my mind, that's logical, but I think I forgot to mention that. But yeah, as I said, this is it so far. And I'll be back for you in a few seconds, for me, who knows, and show you the final result. I'm back. She's done. I did add some things though. So let me kind of show you. Let me just show you like this. So I actually did some top brush strokes here on these and here, and added some extra dots here and on the edge. You don't have to, but I like it. So the graphite pencil, which honestly I should have known already, but I had to use an eraser, and there are still some parts where I can see it. So if I were to listen, if I made this for someone else, I would have gone over the gold parts with gold paint. But since I'm not, it's probably just going to, I don't know, hang on my fridge. I can glue some magnets on the back, hang it on my fridge or something like that, or glue it to the wall. So it's for me anyway. My tip is, if you're doing a color like this, use a watercolor pencil. So for instance, I'm also working on this one, and here I used a gray watercolor pencil. I tried cleaning the center to see if it works, and it really does work. So watercolor pencil is then the way to go. Just don't use water, because when it then sets, I think it's hard to remove. I also would love to do this with a black background. Well, not specifically white, but then black background and gold paint, or the gold background with black paint. I think that would be awesome too. So this is going to be it for today's video and the making of the mandala. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, let me know if you're excited that I'm uploading again. So as I said, I do want to do some more stuff creatively on my channel, and I don't want to commit to just one topic, if that makes sense. Maybe we'll do also some chatty videos. I don't know. We will see. We will see. Also, I am not making myself upload every week. I'm not going to keep an upload schedule. I will try my best to upload regularly, but I'm not going to promise anything, just to give myself less pressure to worry about as well. Yes? Okay. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, check out my channel for all the other mandalas that I have there. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.